Right, about to mount the turret area and the plate. Luke's first. Let's get rid of these fibres. I've made a bit of a mistake. When you come to put all the pieces in after the turret goes in, you got namely these two pieces here, 1, 2, those little like D-shaped little clips there, 1, 2, and then you've got this plate here which mounts underneath that plate. I've just realised by doing all that work, because I had to wait for a Revel to sort me the parts out, this is not going to fit in. So you've got the mounting peg holes there, you've got 1, 2 and 1 here. Those lock onto those there, but feeding that through there, that is not going to go on, because I don't know about those clips. I might have to try and bend them back slightly, but that piece there, that plate, it's actually stopping it from going in. So if you're going to be doing this yourself, don't put those parts in, because I don't know, I can't remember if I glued this in. I'm hoping I haven't glued that in, because I know I've glued those in because those were like flimsy to go in. I had to glue those in, but this plate, I don't know. So massive screw up. I shouldn't have glued those parts in, because on the top, I'm pulling that back out. On the top, with hands, gunner, turret, plate, seat, whatever, you've got all these parts here. You've got that there, that's got to come out, but I didn't glue that in. I just dropped it into place, and I've actually writ out come out. And I've done another one as well on this side here. I've actually writ come out. I didn't glue those in. I'm hoping and I didn't glue these in either, so I can actually pull them out. So one little thing you got to do is don't assemble. Don't put any of the parts on around it. I thought I was going to just about get away with it by like manoeuvring it in, but I can't. So that's something for you to think about. Don't do that extra work if you're going to do what I've done. Right, I've managed to get Luke's gunner plate in now. I had to take this piece off, because luckily, even though you put that piece in first than that piece, there was enough clearance around the back here for me to get underneath. So from before I put the plate in, I had to get my scalpel and put it from the inside to go underneath here and twist. Go underneath here and twist. But then the scalpel wouldn't twist it all the way, so I had to get my needle file and just get in a bit more twist. But then on this side I couldn't get it out because I'd actually glued this in, so I went in from this side here, got my scalpel as much as I could and twist, and it just lifted off. I've broke a couple of the tiny parts. That one there, better turn my flash on actually. Right, so I broke that part. The other part of the rod is on the back here somewhere. There it is there. So just there, it's like bent back, so I'm going to have to push that back into place when I glue this on. But I'd actually glued that on. So before you do any of this work on the bottom, put that in first. Oh dear. Right, so gluing that plate back into place, quite easy. I've also got that little bit of that like cross shape rod there, and glued that back into place because it snapped here. That's going back in. I'll probably drop a glue back in there just to, and then the sides just to re-secure it. Luckily, I didn't have to take these out. These little like V-shaped rods there. So that's now hunky-dory and sitting into place. So now I've got to do the top one. Right, so manoeuvring the top turret, which is for Han, I've had to go in slightly like that because of the wire. Because that there, this little like C shape here. I had to maneuver my LEDs around that. So I had to push it to one side, and then it went in like that. Now there's 4 holes and mounting pegs. You've got the 4 holes underneath there, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mounting holes, which are there, 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 and there. So again, pushing that in like that. I've took the rod out from here because I didn't glue that in, and I took the rod out from here that connects into there. So there's me 2 rods. I didn't glue those in. It looks like where am I? Yeah, it looks like this little tab here goes into that little hole there. So that looks like I can maneuver that in. I've got a square tab there which sits in that hole there. I've got the one on the other side as well. So I'm not going to be able to do this on camera, but it looks like this one's going to be easier than the other one because I didn't glue anything in. So let's see what happens. Right, Hans turret is now into place. Went down pretty easy. So I got that square tab that locks into there. Move that out of the way, there. And that square tab that locks into there. Round the back, round the front, I should say. There. That just pokes through there and just rests. So that's that. Quite easy to get in, but a little surprising feature, as it were. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get inside there because of all the bloody wires being in the way. But the back parts of the turret area, they actually push onto each other. The trouble is, I don't know if I can get in there, to be honest. I don't know if you can make it out. You see the back lot. Where is it? I don't know if you can see it. But the tunnel area of the tunnel entrance of the turret areas, they actually touch each other. Actually, just move that wire out of the way. You might just be able to make it out. They actually touch each other. So no dust is going to get in there. But I'm still glad I put the clear parts on, so I'm quite chuffed for that. That they actually interconnect to each other. I didn't know that. So there's me 4 wires poking out. So I've just got to solder those onto the battery clip. But that's now Han and Luke locked into place. So don't do all the extra work round there. If you do, don't glue it in. You'll make the same mistake I did. But I had to wait to see what Revel or any of you guys might have said, oh yeah, you can get it from there. Or Revel said, yeah, we can get the parts for you. So just be wary when you're mounting them in. Right, the work I did before putting that in, there was like 2 or 3 parts on each page. I'll start with page 46. So you've got 2 parts there, and then you've got some flimsy rods. So you've got 2 flimsy rods. And it gives you a checklist, which should be at the end of construction for that section, but they always put it at the beginning. So that's what that looks like. Right, so starting off with the first bit. So you've got that piece there and that piece there, them just slot in. There's like a rectangular hole and peg, and just push that in, put a drop of glue on. Then you've got that piece, which is that piece there, this rod here, that goes in first. And then you've got this like collection of rods here in like a T shape, which is that. So so that plugged into a hole on top of that part that you've got to put in first, that rod. And then underneath here, you've got like a square hole and rod going that way. And that's it. This part here, which looks like a square rounded shape, that just rests on top of that first piece that I put in there, and you just drop a glue in. But this piece here, it was loose and it kept wanting to spring up. So I had to put a drop of super glue on and hold that down for a couple of minutes while the glue dried. So that's page 46. Turning the page over, page 47, a couple of rods and bits and bobs to put in. Checklist, then your construction. So you got 1, 2, 3 parts there and 2 parts there. So those were on the back. So I'm just going to pause this a sec. So turning the Falcon round slightly, so that's all basically this area here. So first of all, you've got like 3 little parts. So you've got that one there, which is like a rectangular with a rod, which looks like a rear view mirror in a car. So that was one little hole, push that into place, and then the rod goes down like a C shape, and then that plugs into a little hole there. Then you've got another rod, which is that one there. So this is like an L shape with a box, so it plugs into a little hole there, and then just a little hole and a tab here with a box, and it just curls down into the recessed open area. And then you've got the J11, which is the part I had to take out to get the gunner plate in. So that just plugs in to a little hole on the edge of the plate. You push that down, and then there's a little tab about here that plugs into the hull, and then you've got like a little hook that plugs into a little hole on that square piece there, which is already built into the molded into the plastic. And then last but not least, you've got just below that piece that I'd already put in, you've got like a plate here, and then you've got this little rod here that goes from there with 2 holes all the way around like an L shape, connecting to a little box which plugs in a hole there, and then that goes down. There's a little hole and tab there, and then that goes down, and then that plugs onto the little square box here. So that's that page done, page 47. So I'm going to pause it again, so I've got to turn over the page. Going on to page 48, another checklist before everything else. So you've got 1, 2, 3 parts there, and then finally you've got 2 little rods, and I think that's it. Yeah, right. So you've got these 2 little triangle pieces here, with a little circle B shape, and then the other one had like a square, like 2 tank shape with the triangular rod. So there was a little like L-shaped tab underneath there with a hole, so you just plug that into place, and then there's a hole here with that peg, and you just push that into place. Same again, another L shape and a hole, and you just plug that into place, and then just like bridge over from the main section in the middle to the hull. Then you've got this little tiny piece here. Where was that? W22. Yeah, that's that piece there. So that just plugs in on top of that plate there. So that's that. And then you've got 2 rods. So you've got one going below. So it starts here with a little box. And yeah, so the box has 2 little line pegs, and there's 2 holes in the hull. So you just plug that in, and then it had nothing to plug into until it meets here, and there's a tiny little hole. So I just had to run some glue around on the inside and give it a quick sand for the glue marks. And then you had this tab that I had to remove, if you remember from when I put that in. I just pushed it into the little square mount on the edge of the plate, and that goes all the way down. No, yeah, it didn't have any plugs, so that goes all the way down to there, down to there, down to there. Then there was a little tab there, and then that plugs into the little hole there, which you just put a drop of glue in. So that completes page 48, and the only bit of construction I've got left to do now what looks like the last bit of construction is on the engine plate for this area here, and there's a ton of tiny parts to put on that.